No problem as such. Okay. So we are discussing about one problem. So this one, right? So then this for the frequency mode, so we already done. Okay. So now next problem, that is the simplest 2 degrees of freedom system that you can think about is this thing. So can you tell me what are the frequencies or modes we are getting? I asked you to complete it, right? So what are the frequencies? So obviously it has 2 frequencies and the 2 modes, 2 degrees of freedom system, right? So what you are getting as the frequencies?
I got 0 and root 300.
1 minute. Is the PPT visible to you, right? Yes?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So what are the frequency omega 1, omega 2? Tell me.
So 0 and root 300.
0 radian per second and another is
300.
300.
Root 300, sir. Root 300.
Root 300. Root 300, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Root 300.
Okay. What are the mode shapes? First mode shape corresponding to that this one. So what is U1? Tell me. And corresponding to this thing, what is U2? Tell me. Yes. Obviously my mass matrix will be 1001. What is the stiffness matrix? Sorry. What is the stiffness matrix?
So 1 minus 1 minus 1 1.
1 minus 1 minus 1
1.
1.
No,
Stiffness
sir.
matrix.
Like 200.
Why you are saying 1?
No,
So
sir.
outside 200, right? Outside 200. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now it is right. Okay. Okay. And mode shape. So everybody please read whatever I am teaching on a regular basis. I am requested many times. Okay. Otherwise you will find it difficult. I am trying to say this. So what is the mode shape? So can anybody done it or not? What is the mode shape? This problem I have uploaded right in the PPT also. So why you have not done it? I don't understand. So tell me what is the mode shape?
So 1
Yes.
and minus 2 1.
Minus 2 1. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, whatever. Now I got it. Okay. So first frequency is 0, you see. So it's a special case. Usually it is not 0. Okay. You see this type of system is called the unrestrained system. You see there is no restraint is happening there, right? Okay. And mathematically also as we will see, okay, it is called the semi-definite system. Why it is semi-definite system? Just look at the stiffness matrix. Take the determinant of K. What is the determinant of K? What is determinant of K?
0.
0, correct. Okay. So you see in the usual system, the problem that you solved earlier, like this problem, so here the determinant will not be, stiffness matrix determinant will not be 0. Okay. That is positive definite matrix. Okay. The K is called the positive definite, and that is the usual cases. Okay. So this is a special cases. For some few problem, physical problem, we will find out like this. Okay. And as I told, in most of the our structural system which are fixed to the bases like building, bridges or whatever, you will not find this type of system. So there is, and this so determinant will not be 0 in this case, but here for this particular case which is called the unrestrained system or semi-definite system, that means your stiffness matrix is positive semi-definite. Okay, right? So the determinant is 0. Okay, so in this case one of the mode frequency will be 0, and that indicates rigid body motion. Why rigid body motion? You see the U1, its corresponding mode say 1 1, both are moving with the same amount, right? 1 1 in same direction. Then what? So they are together like moving like a one single body. Okay, As a single body, they are moving like that. Okay, so that's called the rigid body mode. This mode is called the rigid body mode. Okay, so that is the characteristic of this type of unrestrained system or was semi-definite system. Okay, and then the another mode is the usual one, the other way they are going down. Okay, so yeah, so you can just read details from the book. So I've just briefly discussed here. So this type of system is called the unrestrained system. They exhibit the rigid body modes, free to translate or rotate as a rigid body without the deformation. Okay, so if you see if both the masses or both the blocks moves as a rigid body, so there is no deformation of the spring there. So okay, like I yesterday asked right about what can be the example. So let's say the two railway cars of masses M1 and M2 with a spring attached. This is their connection, in between connection. These are the two bogies. So that can be thought of as a unrestrained system. Okay, then this is the rotor example also. Another example is the aircraft body. Okay, the aerospace vehicle flight. Okay. So this is an highly idealized model, lumped model. Okay, so this is the body of the aeroplane. Okay, and this is the wing with a lumped mass that is model. Okay, so it can represent. You see, the one mode is the rigid body mode. So just rigid body translation up down. Okay, it's called the I am calling it up down, but in aerospace it's called the plunge mode. And the roll mode, it can roll like this. It's a rigid body rotation. Just rotate it, you see, and then it can be flexible mode. It can deform like that. Okay. Anyway, that is not of our interest, but just for your information. Okay. So as I already mentioned, you can just read it out. Okay. Clear? Okay. Mathematically, the zero eigenvalue result from the fact that the stiffness matrix is singular. Yeah. So the determinant is zero, right? You cannot invert it. That the determinant of the stiffness matrix is zero, and that is proved in this example, right? You object it. Correct. So it is just a generic formulation without any numeric value. So this is our equation of motion. Harmonic solution. Okay. Same time dependency for both the masses. Substitute here. That is my eigenvalue problem. What is the mistake here in this slide? Tell me. Some typing mistake is there. Yes. What is the typing mistake? Come on. What is the
So
typing
plus
mistake?
kx,
Where I should write?
like in the equation 28, it will be plus kx2 and plus kx.
Here in equation 28.
Yes, sir.
There is a mistake.
So shouldn't that be like plus kx2?
This one.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure? Let's check it. This is the equation of motion. Okay. Correct? Note it down. Or you can just derive the equation of motion for this. And harmonic solution. If it is wrong, then I will make it plus. If you say it wrong, so all are agree this is plus. No response. That's the problem. This is plus minus, multiplication, or what it is. Or any error in this slide or no error. On, right? Yeah, tell me what is the mistake? And how will you find out when you are reading the slides? You'll assume that everything is correct, right? That's what I'm saying. There can be some typing mistakes is there. Not many fundamental mistake, but there is some typing mistake can be there. So be careful about it. What is the mistake in this slide? Any mistake is there or not? No mistake, then I'll move ahead with whatever it is, whether it is there or not, that doesn't matter. Come on, tell me, out of 56 or 64, nobody finding out any mistakes here. Although only 57 people have joined, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. Anyhow, tell me, any mistake find out by any people, or all the people are saying that it is fine, all the equations, this is correct, this is correct, this is correct. Speak out if you have found out anything.
So won't there be phase angle?
Huh?
Phase angle.
No, no phase angle. There is no phase. Phase angle is not of much interest to us. We have already mentioned it. We are more or less important with the amplitude, right, and the frequency also. Phase is important, but not to determine the eigenvalue problem at least. First of all, if everybody understood, I mean, what is the eigenvalue problem, please speak out. I mean, again repeating, if you do not understand what is eigenvalue problem, there is no, no point of going ahead further. Okay. If you do not speak out, it is, I mean, I can again revisit that what is the eigenvalue problem. Okay. So the determinant of the coefficient matrix should be 0, right? So is the coefficient matrix I have written here is correct?
So that is m omega square in this case.
M?
Omega square minus k.
This one is wrong.
Yes, sir.
What should be here? Yeah, you tell me. What should
No,
be
no,
here?
sir, it's correct, sir. K minus m omega square. Correct.
So this is correct, you are saying?
Yes, sir, I think so.
Okay, anybody else? No, I got shocked
Then
actually.
instead of 0, there should be minus k.
Yes. Is it possible or not finding out any error here? Ridiculous. Yes. Now you understand, people are understanding or just something else? This should be minus k, right? You can see the coefficient matrix is here. You write it in the matrix form, right? Minus k, then minus m2 omega square plus k into x1, x2 equal to 0 and 0 vector actually. So this is ax equals to 0, right? Eigenvalue. The determinant of a has to be 0. Then from this we will get two frequencies, right? Okay. So this is the characteristic polynomial, right? And this is the characteristic equation is equal to 0, the characteristic polynomial. Okay. So from here we will do frequency I'll get. So the one will be omega square 0, that will give omega 1 equal to 0. And from the second one I'll get omega 2 equals to this thing. Okay. So as you can see here, the example that you solved also you got something omega 1 0 and omega 2 root over 300 or something, right? I do not know whether that is correct or not, but at least one frequency is 0. Okay. So that is verified here. Okay. And stiffness matrix in this case is k minus k minus k k. Okay. Again the determinant if you take is 0, so it is also verified. So omega 1 equal to 0, so the system moves as a whole without any relative motion between the two masses. Okay. That's called, here in this case it is the rigid body translation. So that is the two masses are moving together. Okay. Now if this is okay, and here this is the mode shapes that I already told. Okay, so the first mode here will be just a rigid body motion, as someone told it is one is 1 is getting and another is some -2 or 1 something like that. So one mode will be one side, and the second mode it will be one positive one negative, and in other case both of the same amount in the same direction. Okay, so it is like +1 so it's a rigid body mode. There is no deformation of the body, just the whole body is moving like that. Okay. So that is the mode shape plot, and this type of plot is called the semi-definite system, okay, or unrestrained system. Okay. So let me again go back to the eigenvalue problem. Okay, right? So this is the our eigenvalue problem. You understood, right? Okay. So what we have got here is k11 minus omega square m1, k12, k12, k22 minus omega square m2, right? Into u1, u2 equals to 0. That is our eigenvalue problem, and I am saying that from the linear algebra, from non-trivial solution of u1, u2, the determinant of this has to be 0. That is the idea, because the trivial solution we are not interested. Okay. So now, and let me write it again here. Okay. K11 minus omega square m1. Just correct me if I am wrong. K22 omega square m2 u1 u2 0. That's the eigenvalue problem or characteristic value problem. And since it is a 2 degrees of freedom system, this size is 2 by 2. Okay. And from by solving this, so that means by making the determinant of this coefficient matrix, this is the coefficient matrix, right, of u1 and u2. By setting the determinant to 0, I am getting two frequencies. Basically, first I am getting two eigenvalues, that is omega 1 square, omega 2 square, and the square root of those things are giving me the natural frequencies, that is the omega 1 and omega 2. And corresponding to this, after substituting omega 1 here, I am getting a set of u1, u2 that I am calling as the first mode shape or first eigenvector. Okay. And corresponding to this, I am getting u12, u22. That is the second mode shape. And since the problem is homogeneous, I can find out only u12 and u22 or this in the ratio, right? I can got the ratio uniquely. Okay. That is what it is. But that is actually, this equation is actually nothing but, you see, try to recollect what is the K matrix here. K11, K12, K class. K12 and K22. Okay. And M matrix is the, please try to recollect M10 is the problem we that consider. And I think K11 is nothing but K1 plus K2, right? And K22 is nothing but K2 plus K3 or something like that. Okay. So just for convenience, we define this 1, 1, that is the first row, first column element of this K matrix, and I will define it. Okay. Right. For 2 degrees of freedom system, this can for take any values. Okay. Right. So this is K matrix. So now this equation, that means the eigenvalue problem I can write. Okay. K into U is equals to omega square ME. Is this correct or not? Anybody has any issue? Well, U is nothing but U1, U2, right? That I am calling as the U vector. Any problem? This is actually your generalized eigenvalue problem. K equals to omega square n. Okay. If you have doubt, please tell me. K equals to omega square m. Correct? So Ku equals to omega square m into U. 2 cross 2, 2 cross 1, 2 cross 2, 2 cross 1. Okay. So since this is the eigenvalue problem, and this will be satisfied by these two pair, right? That is omega 1 square and the first mode u1, and the another pair is omega 2 square and u2 square. Obviously, because this I am getting by solving this, so that has to be satisfied. The equation has to be satisfied. That means I can write any issue with these two expressions? Because later on we'll just deal with this matrix vector approach. Okay. Again we'll repeat these things for general n degrees of freedom system. Is it okay with these two expression? But since these pairs are the solution of this equation, so obviously this is going to satisfy this equation, right? Clear? Okay. So just remember this. We'll come to that. Okay. Now we move to an interesting and very powerful properties of this mode shape or the eigenvectors. Okay. Right? And you need to do some algebraic calculation. Okay. So now tell me what is U1 in the last class I mentioned and what is U2. Okay, the first mode shape in our general cases, that were initial 2 degrees of freedom system that we considered. Okay. So just go back to the previous slides. This one, right? Okay. So as I told, so I can write U11, U21 in a vector form by if I consider U11 as 1, right? So 1, then I can write any one of them, either these or this, it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's see with the first one. So it will be minus K1, 1, right? Minus omega 1 square M1, K1, 2. And for the second mode, I can write 1, 2, 2, 2. So let us again consider this first as the U1, 2 as the 1. Here I consider U1 as the 1. Okay. So I'm just considering only this part. Okay. So if U11 is 1, then U21 I can write this, right? Clear? This one. If U12 is 1, then I can write U22 equals to minus of K11 minus omega 2 square divided by K. Okay. Please note it down. Anybody has any doubt here? Any difficulty in understanding? Okay. Please note it down. So if you have noted down, so this is done. Now do this, please do the calculation. Simple algebraic calculation, right? Or you are very good in doing at least algebraic calculation, right? Differentiation integration might be difficult. Eigenvalue problem might be difficult. So you do this calculation. U2 transpose M U1. Right? You know what is transpose, right? Row will be column, column will be row. Okay. So please do that. You know U2, you know U1. Just putting it here, you know M, right? M is the diagonal. What is M? M is nothing but M1 0 0 M2. Okay. Everything you know. Yes. Please do the calculation and tell me. So whatever you will get here 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or in a column. So it will get scalar or vector or matrix. What will get here? Can you tell me? On the right hand side it will be scalar, matrix, vector or anything else. You see, if you have any difficulty, please don't hesitate. Just ask me. Okay. I have absolutely no issue with this. But if you do not ask, what I have to assume is that you are understanding. That is the issue. Please ask, then I will repeat again that part, whatever part you are not understanding. Please tell me this multiplication if I do, what I will get? Scalar, matrix, vector or anything else?
The scalar.
Anybody has any doubt in this answer? He or she is differing from this statement. Someone told scalar. Or not understanding why it is scalar. Please speak up.
So scalar, sir.
Yeah, fine. Now, those who have understood, there is no problem. No problem. Anybody not able to understood why it is scalar or his Not agreeing that it has to be vector or it's matrix? Anybody? So that means everybody is agreeing with this thing, this will be scalar. So just find out the scalar. Okay. So are you getting my point? What I am asking you to do? I am asking you to do U2 transpose M into U1. So what is this U2 transpose? That is U2 is the second mode shape. Okay. It's transpose, right? Then M is the mass matrix, this one. U1 is the first mode shape, that is this one. Just multiply it, and since all are agree that scalar, please obtain what is the scalar value you are getting. 1, 2, 3, 100, 1000, 2000, whatever you are getting. Or any M or K or whatever you are getting, just tell me. Okay. So you know everything, right? M you know, U1 I just mentioned, U2 I just mentioned, right? Let me go back to that slide again. I hope you have noted down. No need to note it down also. You have the these slides are already uploaded. This slide. So from that you can find out U1 on U2 written. Everything is known to you, right? You know omega 1 square. You know omega 2 square. How will you find out? This one. Omega 1 square is the lowest one. So it will be this minus, even is the minus sign, okay? And omega 2 square is the with plus sign, okay? This is from the characteristic, by solving the characteristic polynomial. Okay? Now do it. Any doubt what I am asking you to do? At least you do not understood that what sir is asking to do. What to do? Anybody has doubt? No one. Very good. So please do it. My goal is to show that you understand it, okay? Nothing else. Okay. Because if you don't understand these basic things, then it will be later on quite difficult. So I am again repeating, I am asking you to do a algebraic calculation. That is U2 transpose M into U1. Okay? Right? Where M is this, M1, M2, and U1 is this, U2 is this. What is this? That I just shown in the one of the slides. Okay? So there you have noticed my tab that it involves omega 1 square and omega 2 square. There is the two eigenvalues. What is that called? Right? It involves omega 1 square and omega 2 square. So how will you get the omega 1 square, omega 2 square? From this equation number 8. So now everything is known to you. Do multiplication, addition, division, whatever algebraic manipulation, and tell me, as all are agree that you will get a scalar. So what is the scalar value? Okay. Who can do the algebraic calculation fast? That's definitely it is little involved. That I agree with that, and it requires time. But you will do that. There is a chance of mistake. Even if I start doing here, I may make mistake. Okay. But you do it. At least someone will be able to do it correctly. Let's see. So what I am trying to do here will be actually not required to show that phenomena, as we will see in the general multi-degree of freedom system. We will talk about n degrees of freedom system, and just we will matrix vector approach to systematically generate what I am going to talk now. But it is required to understand that it is actually happening for a typical 2 degrees of freedom system that we considered. It is happening. If you multiply that U2 transpose M U1, that thing is happening. So please do the calculations. It will take time. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any doubt so far for the multi-degree of freedom system that we discussed, not multi-degree freedom system is actually, specifically saying 2 degrees of freedom system basically. If you have any doubt so far, you can ask me. I will request all of you to involve in the calculation. Okay. I can see only few people are replying. Okay, that's fine. But I am hoping that other people are also doing the calculations. It is a good practice to do during a class. Okay. So nobody has any difficulty in understanding this so far what we have talked about for 2 degrees of freedom system. So please do the algebraic calculation. You know matrix vector multiplication, right? Everything. I hope it is. So what is it? 2, 1, 1, 2, let's say, multiplied by 1, 2. So it will be 2 cross 2 and it will be 2 cross 1, right? So then, I hope you know. So this will be multiplied this. Okay, so final product will be 2 cross 1. Okay, so 2 into 1 and then 1 into 2 again, it will be 4, right? And here it will be 5. 1 into 1 plus 2. Dimension of 2 cross 1. So this is for this, and if there is some one matrix, another matrix with transpose. So why it is scalar also? So I am just showing here. So what is U2 transpose? U2 transpose is of dimension 1 cross 2 because U2 is a dimension of 2 cross 1. So if I take the transpose, the row vector will be column, column will be row. So 1 cross 2, this is 2 cross 2, this is 2 cross 1. So that means it is 1 cross 1. So it is correct. So it should be a scalar. 1 cross 1 means a scalar. Okay, so during the algebraic calculation, you guys use some tricks to do it quickly. You can, once I do it by myself also by hand, so it takes time little. So you can, I mean, this part you can just assume of some quantities, then it will be maybe much easier, maybe helpful, because these are long expression, right? So might be helpful to this.
Sir, I'm getting 0.
Anybody else? You have done the calculation, right?
Sir.
Good. So fast you have calculated.
No, I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but
But you have done. At
I
least
did
you
it, I'm
got
getting 0.
a scalar and you got 0. Anybody? Okay, whoever done it, what is your name?
Sir, Ram Prasad.
Okay. You're very good in calculation at least. Anybody else? No one. So please check it, okay? Yeah. And he's absolutely right, this is 0, okay? And it has to be 0, okay? Without calculation, I can say that it has to be 0. Otherwise, you have to stop the dynamics here, learning here, okay? So this is the powerful properties of the mode shapes. Orthogonality is called. You see, if this is the two different mode is there, U2 transpose M into U1. If you do U1 transpose M U1 or U2 transpose M U2, then it will not be 0. Okay. So if you do U2 transpose M U1, okay, U1 equals to 0. Okay. So that is called the orthogonality property of the mode shape. Okay. So that means these mode shapes are orthogonal to each other. Okay. And here the orthogonality with respect to the mass matrix. It's not the normal orthogonal. It is called the orthogonality with respect to mass matrix. Orthogonality with respect to, because here it is some mass is there, mass matrix is there, right? Now, if I take the transpose of the both sides, then what will happen? Can I write it? Is everybody agree with me? Any doubt? Please speak out. I'm just taking the transpose on both sides of the equation. So 0 transpose is nothing but 0, right? What is the transpose of A, B, C, 3 matrix, let's say? Huh? Come on. The C transpose, B transpose, A transpose, right? On the opposite one. So it is the U1 transpose, then it should be a M transpose, right? And then U2 transpose, right? What is the transpose of transpose is just U2. And M is a symmetric matrix. So transpose is nothing but M. Okay. That's right. Got it? Since M is symmetric and M transpose is M, right? Also same for the stiffness also. K transpose is K. That is the definition of the symmetric matrix, right? Okay. Got it? So that means if you write U1 transpose M U2 or U2 transpose M U1, it has to be 0. So that's say about the orthogonality with respect to the mass matrix, orthogonality of the mode shapes. Okay. So here since only two modes are there, so it is 1, 2. In general, that we will discuss later. Any different mode, that means I can write UI transpose M Uj equal to 0 for I not equal to 0. Right? Any mode, let's say 2000 mode is there. Okay, so U1 transpose M U100 equals to 0. Okay, got it? Fine. So this is the orthogonality of the modes with respect to the mass, correct? Now go back. So what is the eigenvalue problem? K, again I am repeating, I have already written. K into U equals to omega square M into U, right? Eigenvalue problem. So this will be satisfied by two pair. Let us write again omega 1 square, this pair as well as this pair. Consider this pair. That will be what? U1 omega 1 square. If anybody has difficulty, please speak out. Okay. Pre-multiply both sides by U2 transpose. Pre-multiplying both sides by, this is scalar, right? Doesn't matter. So U2 transpose. What is this? What is the value of this?
0.
So can I write it? Okay. Very interesting. So you see the mode shapes are orthogonal with not only respect to mass matrix, also with respect to stiffness matrix. Correct? And again, if you take the transpose here also, since stiffness matrix is symmetric, so I can say U1 transpose M K U2 equals to 0. That means what I am getting the result is that U1 transpose M U2 equal to 0. Or if I write U2 transpose M U1, so that is equals to 0 also. I'm writing it very badly. U1, this should be 2. And similarly, if I replace K also, so the M, K by M, that is also M by K. replacing with K stiffness matrix, that is also true. So these properties are called the orthogonality of the mode shapes or eigenvector with respect to mass and stiffness matrix. Correct? Any doubt here? This will proved in some different manner. Okay, we'll see. Anyway, systematically in a more compact manner we will discuss. Okay. Because obviously, right here, the student has done. He's told that it is 0, right? By doing a multiplication of 1 cross 2, 2 cross 2, and 2 cross 1. Let's say it is a 20 degrees of freedom system. Forget about 20. Let's say it is a 4 degrees of freedom system even. Okay. So you understood how difficult it will be the calculation, right? First of all, there will be a polynomial solved to get the omega 1 square, omega 2 square, omega 3 square, omega 4 square. Then it will be 1 by 4. This is 4 by 4. This is 4 by 1. Very difficult to get the and to show that it is a 0. So obviously we will do some different manner to show that. But this is valid anyway. Whether it is 2 degrees of freedom or n degrees of freedom system, this will be valid. Okay. Now using this orthogonality property, and please remember, don't forget this expression. Never forget this expression, that the eigenvalue problem, and that is going to satisfy by all the modes. So here it is 2 modes, so this set and this set. Just remember this, satisfying by this set and this orthogonality condition. Now we are going to uncouple the equation of motion. Okay, very powerful property to help us to solve a multi-degree of freedom system as a number of single degree of freedom equation. Okay, let us see how it is. So what is my undamped equation of motion? M x double dot. So I am not writing x double dot t here, it is time dependent, so I am not writing here. K xt is equals to 0. 2 by 2 cross 2, 2 cross 1, 2 cross 2, 2 cross 1, 2 cross 1. Undamped free vibration matrix vector notation. Okay. Clear? So this equation are coupled or uncoupled? This equation. Come on. This equation is a 2 equation, right? 2 ordinary differential equation. Coupled equation or uncoupled equation? This is a 2 equation or 4 equation or how many equation? 2 degrees of freedom we are considering, right? It is 2 equations, right? Okay. That you already discussed, right? 2 equations. So these 2 equations are coupled or uncoupled? Can you solve individually? I'm just confused what people whether understanding or not. Because they are not replying first of all, and then it is very difficult for me. Okay. Xt is nothing but this, right? X1, X2. That's the two masses. So I'm again repeating my question. Is this equation coupled equation or uncoupled equation? Or in other words, can you solve? It has 2 equations. So can you solve the first equation and second equation as a separate problem? Can you solve it or not?
No, sir.
No. So it's a coupled problem, right? I don't know what is the problem in responding by other people. Let me go back there. Problem with the students. I already mentioned somewhere here. These are the coupling terms, right? You see from this equation. In the first equation, this term, forget about, in our case, damping is not there, that we are treating undamped free vibration, but this term is still there, right? This term is there. And in the second equation, it is this term, which is responsible for coupling, because the first equation is for x1, but here x2 is coming into the picture, and the second equation for x2, but here x1 is coming into the picture. It's a coupled equation. You have to solve it simultaneously. So this coordinate system that you have chosen, x1 to x2 to t, this makes the system coupled. Let us see how to uncouple it, so that we can solve this as a single degree of freedom system, uncoupled single degree of freedom system. As I mentioned, always, I am again repeating it. If you have any doubt, do not hesitate to ask me. Because if you are asking a question, then I am not deducting mark or giving mark or anything like that. But your understanding will be clear and will not suffer in the later stage of this course. That is the thing I just want to talk about. Nothing harm in asking even a silly question, right? Okay, it is up to you. Okay, so the two mode combination, right? So as you understood already, I mentioned, right? So let us say xt. Okay, xt means x basically here. So x is a combination of two mode, right? So the first mode u1 and then the time dependent part. Okay, so let's say it is q1 plus u2. I think previously we considered as a f1 and f2. Okay, but in actually we'll use the q1 and q2 time dependency. Okay, that just I have to show it. Okay, that's we can write f1 f2, but f is usually used for the forces. No problem. Okay, so this is the contribution from the first mode. This is contribution from the second mode. For n mode there will be others, right? This is clear, right? One amplitude part and the time dependent part. Okay, so xt is the total responses. Okay, general response. Okay, now just to substitute xt in this equation, and what we will get? So I am writing here again m, what is called x double dot, right? Sk x equals to 0. So I am substituting here my solution xt is equals to u1 q1t plus u2 q2t. Just substitute in this equation and tell me what you are getting. Okay, so m x double dot, right? That is u1 q1 double dot t, because this is time independent, right? This is only the time dependent function. Then plus m, sorry, m u2 q2. Please check it whether I am wrong or right. Okay, just I am substituting there. Plus k x is what, u1 q1t plus k u2 q2t equal to 0, right? Am I right? Just I have substitute the solution. Okay. Now pre-multiplying this expression by u2 transpose. Okay. If I do u2 transpose, then I'll get the second equation. Okay, no. So let us multiply this by u1 transpose. Okay. Pre-multiplying this equation by u1 transpose. u1 transpose. u1 transpose. And now invoke the orthogonality condition. Then what you will get? Yeah, tell me. So we'll get two equations, right? What are the two equations we'll get? It is definitely it is two equations, so from that I'll get two equations also. But this is coupled actually. Okay. So first one I'm doing is the u1 transpose. Okay. So what is the first equation? Tell me. Then I'll do the multiplication by u2 transpose. Then I'll get the another equation. So now tell me the first equation. I mean from this invoke the orthogonality condition. What is this? This one is. What is the value of this? What is the value of this? Yeah, anybody, please. What is the value of this?
Zero, sir.
0.
What is the value of this?
0 again.
Huh? What is the value of this?
Zero, sir.
So what I am getting? What is that? This is scalar, right? Q1 double dot T plus U1 transpose K U1 divided by U1 transpose M U1 is into QT. Any doubt here? Sorry. Yeah, Q1, correct. Any doubt? Nothing, right? Just this term got vanished
No,
actually
sir.
due to the orthogonality condition. And then just since this is a scalar quantity, so I can just divide it, right? If it is a matrix, then I cannot do like this. Okay. But ultimately this is giving a scalar quantity. Okay. So I can write. Now what is this? Yeah, I'll just finish it. I know its time is over. Just one line I'll write and finish it. What is this? Not getting? Just go back here. Eigenvalue problem. What is the eigenvalue problem? Yeah. I told, right, this equation is the eigenvalue problem, so that will be satisfied by this pair and this pair. So if I satisfied it, I'll get this, right, for the first pair if I satisfy it. So now we multiplied this by U1 transpose K U1 is equals to omega 1 square M into U1. So omega 1 square I can write U1 transpose K U1 by U2 transpose, sorry, U1 transpose, there's something I have missed here, U1 transpose should be here, right? Okay, let me write it in some different pages. Just give me 1 minute, I will finish it. So my eigenvalue problem is K U equals to omega square M U. So it is satisfied for the first mode and second mode also. So if I consider the first mode, correct? T multiplying by U1 transpose so I can very easily say that right? Okay, that is what it is. Q1 double dot plus omega 1 square Q1 plus 2. So from this coupled equation, at least I got one uncoupled equation. Is it coupled with Q2? Q1 is the one coordinate and another is the Q2, right? Is it coupled or uncoupled? Yes?
Uncoupled.
Uncoupled, correct. So how our life is become easy now. Q1 double dot T plus omega 1 square Qt equals to 0. Similarly, multiplied this equation, okay, you substitute this one and then pre-multiplied equation by U2 transpose. Invoke the orthogonality condition and use the expression, this expression for U2 omega 2 square. You'll get another set of equation, which is again uncoupled. So finally, you'll get this two uncoupled ordinary differential equation in Q1 2 and Q2 2 respectively. Okay. You see, this is a coupled differential equation. This is an uncoupled differential equation. Very easy to solve. I will solve this equation individually and this equation individually. Okay. You already know, right, the solution of this equation. Okay. Undamped free vibration single degree of freedom system. We have solved it as a x instead of Q1. Remember, it is x double dot T. X double dot T plus omega square, omega n square, xt is equal to 0, right? What is their solution? some constant capital Q or something. Just for the sake of completion, I'm writing omega 1 t minus phi 1 or something like that, right? That you have already solved this type of solution. Okay. So now you tell me, you got Q1, Q2, right? But our aim is to find out X, right? Actual displacement of the system. So how to get it? How to get it? By solving this equation, I'll get Q1. By solving this equation, I'll get Q2. That's fine. Individually, I'll solve it. Okay. No problem. We have already learned how to solve it, right? Very simple. Okay. And I have written the solution also here. So now Q1, Q2 got, but my aim is to get the X, right? The system displacement X1, X2. Please include X1, X2. So how to get that?
Multiply by U.
Huh?
Multiply by U. U vector.
Yeah. Just I will substitute here, right? In this expression, correct?
Yes, sir.
You want it? I'll substitute by here, get the response. I'll stop it here. We'll discuss more about this later on. So actually, these two coordinates Q1 and Q2 are called the principal coordinate or modal coordinate. Okay. And this method of uncoupling the equation of motion is called the modal analysis or mode superposition method. Okay. Thanks.